my joint. Just give me the countdown. Facts. Let's go. Like a sunny day in Brooklyn. AZ. Shout out to all my Brooklyn folks, by the way. Feels so good. Man, this is the shit. You know to come up. Put the gun up. Put the blunt up. Facts. I had that. This is the line coming up though for me. Juice like hypnosis. It's ferocious when broke niggas get focused. Okay, I gotta pause that, man. That was my shit. Yo, when he was like, it's ferocious when broke niggas get focused. That is peak AZ right there. Because AZ was always with the Maltese. That's peak AZ shit right there. And I remember that song came out like 2005. Let me put on the beat, man, so that y'all can listen to me. Classic. I remember when that song came out, man, and it just felt like the last of a dying fucking era, man. On some real shit. It's crazy. Like, that reality rap, that poetic, like, spit from the heart, talk about your peoples, you know, capture their environment, how they're feeling about shit. The real shit, the important shit. And it was like, nobody's making music like this no more. And again, this is when, of course, your boy Kanye and Young Jeezy and a lot of these trash rappers were starting to get a lot of props and they were coming up, right? And it was like, AZ came with this and it just felt like, damn, hip-hop is dying, man. Anyway, the come up, I can't really say too much more about it other than the fact that I think it's pure genius. The whole thing, the beat, you know, Primo put his foot in that beat, in my opinion. I think it's one of the best beats he ever did. That's a long statement, I'm sure, because Primo has a lot of amazing beats, but I really think that one, there's something special about that beat. And of course, AZ kills it. Fucking kills it. That part in the second verse, we was talking about, I can't remember off top of my head right now because I'm, you know, spitting this ism to you, but when he's talking about the Reverend and selling to the Reverend, that shit is like crazy. Anyway, AZ, where do we start with AZ? So AZ is a guy that I think is quite talented, obviously, has some amazing material. I don't necessarily think that he has like one amazing album, and I'm just being honest in my personal opinion. But of course, he's a talented guy who has some absolutely standout, brilliant songs, top echelon type shit, like The Come Up, which in my opinion, that's my favorite AZ song. So I'm gonna kind of go through the songs that I think are essential AZ. Like if he was doing the verses, he would have to play these joints. Okay, so there are 3 songs to me that are like super high echelon AZ. One of them is done by Primo. You've just heard one of them, The Come Up. The second one is one that you're hearing right now, the beat, Gimme Yours. I think that is one of the greatest AZ songs ever made. And the second, or I should say the third one right after that, is Rather Unique. Classic, another Pete Rock banger. I think that, you know, Pete Rock and AZ have a chemistry. And it's, you know, so, you know, it's kind of strange actually that they didn't really explore it much more after that first album. I don't know why, but of course, you know, AZ having Primo, or I should say Pete Rock on his second Do or Die is good news. I mean, of course, we're very interested and we're anticipating that one because, I mean, the best songs that AZ ever did came with Pete Rock. You know what I mean? Now, I would say those are the top 3. The Come Up, Gimme Yours, Rather Unique. Brilliant songs, amazing beats, the whole 9, right? After that, I would say that a good AZ song would be the Tap, Phone Tap. This is pretty good. Classic. So, Phone Tap for sure. Problems. This is my joint. I was whistling this all day today for some reason. Yeah, some problems. This is another great AZ song to me, right? And then I would say after that, those are to me the best sort of like top 5 AZ. Of course, I'm not really including Life's a Bitch, Nas, Illmatic, but you should already know about that. So, of course, that's like, you know, an essential AZ cut that he'd have to play. Now, the rest of these songs I'm going to list, I think are like good AZ songs. What's the Deal, I think is one of his best shits. I remember when this came out. Windy City, Chi-Town. More poppy to a certain degree, given that era. You know, Trackmaster's a little bit poppy, but I think it still worked. More Money, More Murder, Murder Homicide. This is, of course, classic. Classic AZ has to get played. The other ones I think are really good. Love Me. This I heard a couple of times, you know, in the clubs back in the day. It's cool. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a, you know, it's not in the top 3, not in the top 5 for me, AZ, but I think it's a decent song. Love Me. And the last one I would say that is pretty good, AZ, is Once Again. This was cool, you know, decent song. Yeah, man. That's kind of where I would end it, actually, honestly, when it comes to AZ. I'm going to put on this rather unique beat so you guys can hear. See, that shit is butter, man. So the thing for me with AZ is that, you know, when we talk about beat selection, I always stress the beats, and people go, oh, beats, what are you talking about, blah, blah, you know, some of the trolls. But, you know, I know that these guys haven't really been listening to rap long, so of course beats don't matter to them. And of course, you know, they're the rhythmless variety, right? The thing is, beats communicate a lot, right? They're extraordinarily important. That song, The Come Up, that I was telling y'all about, right? There is a version that wasn't done by Primo, and I think it came out first. That AZ's man did, I think, something like that. And it's completely ignorable. See, the issue with beat selection is that if you don't have it right, it makes your whole catalog get ignored, right? That original Come Up song, see if you can find it on the internet. I don't even think it's on there, but it might be. Anyways, the fact of the matter is that it's nowhere near as great as what Primo did. When Primo changed the beat, that's it. He just changed the beat, obviously the chorus, but the simple addition of DJ Premier took a song that was going to be fucking ignored by just about everybody and took it to a whole nother fucking level. And it's now considered to be one of the great rap records, one of AZ's, you know, greatest songs, period. That's the power of a great fucking beat. That shit is important, man. Anybody that tells you the beats don't matter doesn't listen to hip-hop. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. If you're not talking about the beat, if that's not literally one of the first things you're talking about on an album, you don't know hip-hop. I'm gonna put it, you know, bluntly. You know what I'm saying? You do not know this rap shit, and you shouldn't even be talking about it. The beats, the beats, the beats. You gotta always talk about the goddamn beats. You know why? Because beats make or break artists all the time. You know what I mean? When y'all talk about Nas having bad beat selection, honestly, AZ, in my opinion, has that times 5. AZ has a lot of mediocre beats. The problem with AZ's catalog, to me, is that a lot of his beats are kind of generic. You know what I mean? They don't really speak for him. And so, in a way, you don't learn who AZ really is. What makes him special? What makes him unique compared to the next rapper? You know, AZ just kept rapping, you know, he's getting money. He's a quiet money, you know, AZ, that kind of thing. He's a Brooklyn nigga doing it. Okay, but how does that make you unique? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's interesting because, again, we talk about beats, rather unique. This beat that's playing in the background is kind of in the quiet variety. It bumps, it's hard, but it's a little bit kind of mellow and chill. And I think, again, this beat communicated a lot about AZ's vibe. And that's why beats are so important, right? You look at someone like a Nas, his beats on Illmatic communicate this like street philosopher kind of dude, you know, in the hood, but you know, his mental science is on a different level. The beats reflected that and they communicate that. And that's why beats are important. They do the heavy lifting for you. You know what I mean? And so when you add on top of it with a great voice and great rhymes, now you're making some fucking incredible shit. And I think that's what plagued AZ, in my opinion. I think his beats were generic, and so therefore his songs tend to be generic. And I'm not the only one that thinks the shit, man. I mean, Steve Stout was on record saying that he thinks AZ was a little bit generic with the music, and I have to agree, man. And there's no shot at AZ. I love the brother. I think he's a phenomenal artist, but I do think that some of his songs got a little generic, you know? Like Sugar Hill, not for me. It's too pop, not my cup of tea. He had that song AZ. Hey AZ, right? That with SWV. I mean, again, kind of generic, you know? I mean, I think it's a sample of an old 80s hip-hop record or something like that. I'm trying to remember the name. Famous, hey DJ, would you play my song? That shit, right? It's, you know, an old 80s hip-hop record. I mean, it's a little generic, you know what I mean? And I think that that's what plagued AZ, in my opinion. Yeah. Now, if I look at this track list, I'm actually pull this up because let's talk about Do or Die 2, actually. The track list being out now. There's actually like some production credits too, so I'm kind of curious to see, you know, who's going to be involved and stuff. I mean, the wheel, not really feeling it. I got to be honest with you. It didn't do much for me. That's kind of like the lead single, not my cup of tea. I'm looking out here. The songs that I'm most interested in are the Baby Paul beats. Baby Paul came from Beat Miners, so anything Beat Miners, and I haven't heard from Baby Paul in a while. So I'm kind of curious to see if Baby Paul got some hot shit. Hopefully he does. Let's see what else is on here. You've got obviously the Pete Rock beat. I'm really looking forward to that shit. I don't care about Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, and Conway appearing on AZ shit. I mean, that to me is a bad sign. It's just, that's when it's like a sign that you're gonna drop some whack shit, because you got whack niggas basically on it, right? You know what I'm saying? Cloud chasing type niggas, that want to be relevant. They want to be seen next to like a God MC. Because again, this is the thing with rap, right? A lot of these guys, like the Lil Waynes and the Conways, they're chasing credibility, right? I mean, especially now that they're, more on the washed side of things. You're looking at people like an AZ or Nas who've made timeless music that are always going to be in the conversation. Like AZ, whenever you drop something, people are always going to be like, oh, AZ got something new, right? John's got something new. Jay got something new, because they make great shit. And the problem is, whenever you have something like that, especially like a Do or Die, that is, a seminal rap album, you're going to get these guys come out the woodwork that are like, oh, I want to be on the shit or whatever. Or maybe AZ is reaching out to them hoping that they can, give him some relevance. But again, it's a bad sign to me. I'm looking at this. Rockwilder made a beat. What's good? Okay. I like Rockwilder. Rockwilder's brilliant. Underrated. People don't talk about him enough. Check Me Out featuring Pete Rock. All right, Pete Rock, let's do it, man. And of course, Buck Wild. Again, major producers. I got nothing but love for those guys. I think they make great shit. So, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope they can come with some really good material. The Alchemist, hopefully it's not sleepy, but, it probably will be. And Bink. Bink is cool. I mean, I'm not really a huge Bink guy, but he's made some stuff. So, hey, man, it could be hit or miss. I mean, right now, that first song, The Wheel, is not it for me. And, yeah, man, I don't know. And I'm not liking the features so far, but who knows? All I know is that AZ is great. He has some great songs. He has songs that I still play, that they still bump. And I would say, if you want to start with AZ, you got to start with Do or Die, right? I would listen to that album in whole. Like I said, I don't necessarily think that every song on there is great, but I do think that obviously Rather Unique and Gimme Yours are just, clear standouts. And I would start with those tracks that I mentioned and then go from there and see if you really, want to dig more into AZ. All right? Peace.